last week about Samuel anointing David to be the next king, even though Israel still had King Saul for their king. Occasionally Saul would get really depressed, and the people looked around for the best musician they could find to come and sing for Saul. And the musician they happened to find was David. Now we know it wasn't an accident. God was training David. So he was beginning to train him now to be in a throne room, in a royal residence. He already had the training he really needed to lead people because he'd been herding sheep. And herding sheep is good practice for leading people. That is not a compliment. Sheep are some of the stupidest farm animals that there is. And so it wasn't a compliment when God compared us to sheep. The Philistines attacked Israel. They had actually been enslaving them for some time, but now they came and actively attacked them again. Only this time, they brought with them a man the Bible says was 9 feet tall. And the man, in the morning, before they could start fighting, the man walked out on the hill. The Philistines were like camped over here, and Israel was camped here. And the man walked out. His name was Goliath. And he challenged Israel to a fight. He said, "You pick out your best fighter, and you send him to me, and the two of us will fight. Whichever one of us two wins, the whole army wins." So, well, what happened next was Israel got scared. They wouldn't send anyone out to fight him because he was a big guy. And this went on for some time. Every day, Goliath would come out. He'd challenge Israel. He'd talk bad about their God. Well, David had 3 brothers in the Israel army, and their dad hadn't heard anything for several days, and he was a little worried. So he sent David with a gift for the general, sent him to the camp to see what was going on. Where's your brothers? Why isn't the war over? And David got there just in time to hear Goliath. Well, David said, "Well, how dare he curse my God? How dare he talk like this? Why isn't someone out there fighting him?" Well, some of the other soldiers heard David saying this and reported it to Saul. Saul called for David, and he said, "You're going to fight. Would you fight him? You're the only one who isn't scared of this guy." Well, then what happened was the king gave David his armor, but David said, "This is too big for me. I can't use this." He went out to fight Goliath all by himself, and he didn't even take a sword with him. He took a sling, which was a piece of leather like that with straps on it. And you would put a rock in that, and you swing it around your head like that, and you'd let go of 2 of the strings, and the rock would fly out and hit whatever you're aiming at. And see, David had practiced with this till he was such a good shot, he could hit whatever he aimed at. He told Saul, "I don't need your armor, I don't need your sword." While I was watching the sheep, a lion and another time a bear attacked my sheep, and God helped me to defeat them. This giant, he's nothing compared to a lion and a bear, I mean. The sheep would be pretty easy. So Saul reluctantly let him go out and face him with just this sling. He picked up 5 smooth stones, and he had his sling, but he didn't have a sword. He didn't have any armor. He didn't have a bow and arrows. But you know what he did have? He had God. He had God and his sling. And he swung his sling around, and I think he had a little help from God to make sure that when he let go, that rock hit the giant in the, if you feel your head like this, you can feel there's a space between the bones. It's kind of a soft spot. And that rock hit the giant right there. And when it did, it killed him.
And this is what happens when you pick on Israel.
This is what happens when you pick on Israel, when you pick on God's people. the giant fell down. David ran up, took the giant's sword, and cut his head off. We want to make sure he's dead. And Israel got so excited, they chased the Philistines and beat all the rest of the Philistines up. God used a shepherd boy. He was probably about 17. And God used him to defeat a 9-foot-tall seasoned warrior. Well, then everyone had a party and celebrated. So, we're going to sing a different song than the one I told you about. Okay? Perfect. You're ahead of me. Okay. This song is about the same story. So can you practice? You have your sling in your hand. Can you practice? Because we're going to need to use our slings in the song. Okay. Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, and 5 little stones he took. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air, and the giant came tumbling down. Okay, thank you.